And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Patrick Dewar. I have a great show for you today. My guest is Dr. Joseph DuChene of DuChene Natural Health Center. One of the things that I was really impressed with and had a lot of fun with in reading his bio and getting him ready for this show, I understand that he has the best technique. Joseph, Dr. Joe, tell me, what's the best technique in chiropractic medicine?
Okay, best stands for bioenergetic synchronization technique.
That's easy for you to say.
It is, man. I practice that. That's actually one of the requirements to get certified. You have to be able to say it fast. So it's an awesome tech. I actually got certified best technique within my second semester of chiropractic college, which is unusual. Most people don't get certified while in school, but learned that right away, jumped right on that one. It's very unique in chiropractic, mostly because from a standpoint, you know, we adjust the body, we get the body, we have dialogue, we learn how to speak to the language. One of the main things is that your lifestyle determines most of what your health is.
Right.
And so best technique, it's centered not only around, you know, centering the system and getting everything straight, but looking at that lifestyle that's actually causing some of those imbalances to begin with. And it's really fun because you can do very little and have exponential changes in the system. And so I got hooked right away. And I was like, man, this is cool. Look at this. I can just do a little bit. And
Most for the least, huh?
Oh, well, yeah. You know, I'm saying it's, you know, the body is built upon efficiency of sorts. And so we can either, you know, take the long road around something, or we can just get right to something and make some magic happen. And oh man, it's great. You know,
I agree. Well, one of the things that, just for a lot of people, chiropractic medicine, it's as clear as mud for a large portion of the universe. There's a lot of people that understand it. If you could refine it down, what is it and how do you apply it?
Okay. From a chiropractic standpoint, what we're looking at, nervous system is the master system of the body. It controls everything that comes down. And so as the body adapts to different types of stresses, three main stresses we focus on, which is kind of your emotional stress, thoughts, all the things that come up here, toxins, or it's also referred to as biochemistry, so things that you eat that you're supposed to or not supposed to eat. Also physical trauma and stress. And so this is like when a lot of times I get interested as a chiropractor and all of a sudden everybody's like, you know, trying to, you know, sit up straight, you know, and try to figure out what straight is. But yeah, that deals with posture, you know, and micro trauma, things along those lines. And so the idea is that as the body responds to those stresses in the form of spinal adaptations, we refer to those as subluxations. It's where we have misalignments inside the different bones in the body. You can have it in the extremities just as well as in the spine. And it causes histological changes at the cellular level in those areas, but also neurological dysfunction in those. And sometimes it can lead to things like muscular imbalances, pain syndromes. And so what we do as chiropractors is we assess that and we adjust. That's the name for what we do to put everything back in alignment. And the reason why best technique is really fun is because we actually get to address those main causes of those spinal adaptations in conjunction with the adaptation itself. So we're actually kind of getting at to why is the body adapting as well. So, you know, there's your...
That's the doctoral thesis.
Yeah, that's the quick version.
So the one thing about it, though, is that in trying to identify how you apply the best technique, I mean, what I heard was that you guys address stress in the body.
Absolutely.
And find ways to diffuse the stress, and that you have the system that is high impact, low, or high result, low impact, maybe a better way to put that, as far as generating the result that you want out here. Is that what you just said?
Absolutely, yeah. Now the whole idea is to dialogue with the body, and my education as a chiropractor is to learn the language of the body. And so when I'm doing the different forms of testing that I do, whether it's muscle testing or neurological testing, I'm asking questions and there's an internal dialogue that's going on. And so really one of the fun skills that I've learned is how to listen to people. Because most of what is going on with anybody, when you listen to them enough, it just comes right out of their mouth. And so what's fun about my job is in some perspective, I get to actually tell you what you already know.
Right.
You know.
But I mean, it sounds like, to use a kind of a strange term, but you're like a body whisperer. I mean, you're listening to more than what's coming out of their mouth. You're actually analyzing all the stress points in their body to figure out what you need to begin to do to adjust. And then making sure, if I understand this correctly, you're really trying to find out what needs to be corrected in order for the stress to be eliminated or reduced massively. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely, yeah. The whole idea is that when I'm working with a client, when we're trying to figure out what's going on, because many people come and they seek me out because nothing else has helped them.
Right.
I get referrals from doctors who you go to and nobody else can help you, and then when they can't help you, they send you to me. And so really what I'm trying to do is exactly what you're saying, is find those hidden areas of stress, that this one thing over here that I'm doing that I really don't really quite know, but it's really tied into what I have going on. And so in a form you could say, yeah, I'm whispering to the system, trying to figure out what's going on, tying it together so that we can really target and do something very specific rather than just kind of a blanket.
That's awesome. Well, when we come back from the break, I want to get into some examples of types of things that you've done and the results that you've been able to generate for people, because I know for a lot of us, that's all that really matters, is what's the end result. I'm Pat Dewar. This is the Business Spotlight. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. My guest today, Dr. Joseph DuChene of DuChene Natural Health Center. Thank you. I want to get into who, the kind of clients that you've been able to help. Some examples are always helpful because you use this BEST technique and you call that the bioenergetic synchronization technique. Most result, least amount of effort, change the things that need to reduce the stress. Who's an ideal candidate or client for you?
Well, when we're looking at the types of candidates that I've helped, one of them really comes to mind in young woman, and when she came to me, like many of the clients, they don't even think of chiropractic as this could even help or do anything for me. Which those are fun because those people I actually get some of the best results with. And from her standpoint, she's been diagnosed with a particular disease that most doctors never heard of. And so, if she has an issue, when she goes to the emergency room, she'll tell them, I have this thing. And everybody will be like, well, get out the Wikipedia because I don't even know what that is.
Right.
And so it caused massive dysfunction throughout her day, fatigue, she couldn't function, almost passing out when eating food. And so by addressing some of these hidden stresses that she had, a mental thought standpoint or stress standpoint, from a biochemical standpoint and physical standpoint, here we are 6 months to a year down the line, and she is basically completely normal. And she's like, I never even thought that I would get 10 minutes of relief. And so it's really fun to hear those kinds of stories. I've also been enlisted to work with professional athletes to do the same thing, because apparently professional athletes have just as many problems as everybody else does. And so,
maybe more. It depends. Well, if they play hockey or football, I imagine they get banged up a little bit more.
Trying to be generous,
Yeah.
No, they're fun to work with. They just have different issues, but we're looking at from a functional standpoint. And if we can get the body working the way it's supposed to, our bodies they heal from the inside out. We have those mechanisms inside of us. And so pretty much my job is to figure out what the blockages are, and what we do is we help in that area. So
how much of it is really spine versus the rest of the system? I mean, a lot of people that if they think about a chiropractor, they think of crack your back are us kind of.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's I know that's not it. It's not about cracking anything.
No.
It's about what?
It's about retraining the system. Now, when we're looking at we've had some talks with some people here. Crack this, crack that. What we're looking at is neurological implication of joint function. And so, if the joints aren't working right, the muscles aren't going to work right. And so, if the muscles aren't working right, that's where pain problems come in, functional problems come in. If the joints aren't working right, the nerves aren't working right, then the thing is all that information drives your brain. And since your brain really controls most of who you are, you're talking about your attitude. So do I view life as a positive thing, or am I just beat down by everything? There's a lot of people who come away with this and just say, hey, after getting adjusted on a frequent basis, the body working good, I just feel great now. I just feel great all the time. So no, it's not just about cracking the back. And there are different forms of chiropractic, and each has its application, okay, to kind of be fair in that aspect. But really it's about function of the body, getting the brain to work the way it's supposed to, getting the body to work the way it's supposed to. And when that does, the body heals itself. When we see that time and time again. And as a consequence, you get much better, you feel better, you sleep good, you have good energy, you want to go out and do things. It's amazing. It's really fun to see that process as it kind of comes through.
How do you want people to connect to you, and what should they expect when they do?
You can get through me through Facebook, LinkedIn. You can do Twitter, but Twitter's not as a big one for me as everybody else. If you can go to my website, DuCheneNaturalHealth.com. There's tons of ways of getting a hold of me. You can call me from there. My phone number is 254-214-2354. And what to expect is I sit down and talk with people, because the first component is, are you serious about getting your health together, or is now a good time for you? Okay, because, and it doesn't matter, it's a business spotlight, and even from a business standpoint, the first thing is are you willing to make a change? Is now a right time for you? Because we can want all the time, which many times we do, but are you serious about doing work right now? Because if you are serious, then this method works wonders for you. If you're not as serious, but you want some information, hey, that's fine, that's okay. Okay, I'm a pretty flexible kind of guy. I move around with everybody. So what we do is we just try to meet you where you're at, so that we can help you the best of our ability.
That's excellent. I know that so people can get a hold of you on your website, and call you. They can get you're on Facebook. How would they find you on Facebook?
Facebook, the business is just DuChene Natural Health Center. You should be able to find it, Dallas, Texas. I'm saying that'd be probably one of the best ways of communicating through Facebook. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you. I know that what you do is really important. I've used a chiropractor in the past. He didn't make me any taller, but he did make me a lot. It did help a lot. And so I know that your profession is most valid, and I would encourage you that if you've got stresses in your body and that you need to visit with somebody, meet with Doc Joe. And so I appreciate that. And with that, I know we're coming up on another break, and we've got more to come. There's my next section, my next guest you're gonna love him. Pat Dewar, we'll be right back.